At 55, I've had to completely change how I do my makeup. Not because I wanted to, but because what used to work just stopped working. And the frustrating part is that a lot of the advice out there doesn't really apply anymore. So today I'm sharing 5 things I've learned about makeup for mature skin. And not from being told, but from getting it wrong. Okay, tip number 1 is pretty important, and that is stop chasing perfect skin. Y'all, I have wrinkles, I have redness, I have age spots. And it seems that the more I try to fix them, the worse it actually looks. Because what happens is we just keep adding more concealer, more coverage, more layering, and suddenly your skin doesn't look like skin anymore. It looks like you're wearing a lot of makeup. And I'm sorry, but it's not a good look. So what I've started doing instead is focusing on one key thing at a time. Like sometimes I just want to even things out a bit, particularly if I have a lot of redness. Other times I want to focus on that crepey skin underneath my eyes, or maybe it's just getting a healthy glow back. But I always want my skin coming through. And weirdly, it just looks better. I think that less makeup on mature skin is better. End of story. I mean, I think the French gals know what they're doing. Like, it's never perfect. And to be honest, I stopped chasing perfect in all aspects of my life. And I think that's been a big shift. And once I let go of all that, I started to see things differently. Because it's not just about how much makeup you use, it's where you put it. Because number 2 is something that completely changed as I've aged. Placement matters more than product. I used to focus so much on what I was using, foundation, blush, all that stuff. But what I've realized is that it's not the product that makes the biggest difference. It's where you put it. Because placement can either lift your face or it can very subtly drag it down. And it's funny, eyeliner was one of the best examples of this. Like if I'm not careful, lining my upper lash line can actually pull my eyes down at the end. And it just makes me look sad, which is not what I'm going for. But I found the biggest shift has been the eyeliner wing, the flick, because I have hooded eyelids now. If I draw that line the usual way, where it's going up and out, it's gone. I mean, it just disappears under that hood. So now I don't take it up. Instead, I take it straight out. And suddenly you can actually see the line. It's funny, I actually follow the line of one of my wrinkles. It's like the perfect guide. So that line may disappear into the folds when I laugh. Ha ha ha. But who cares? So that one change alone made a bigger difference than switching eyeliner formulations. And I found the same thing with blush. Like once upon a time, when I had a young girl's face, I applied blush to the apples of my cheek while smiling. Sure, we all did that because the apples were high and they were firm and they didn't move. But now those apples fall when I stop smiling.
Looking good, Mary.
Is that not a good look? So instead, I put the blush on the high points of my cheek because those don't fall. Like, even though in theory, this is where you get that healthy flush, that subtle bit of color, it just doesn't look great when it's down here. So I think that understanding how your aging face can change, and by the way, it's going to be different for everyone, it really guides us on where we need to adjust our placement. So once I realized that, a lot of things started to make more sense. Because it's not just where things go on your face, it's actually how they sit on the skin. And that was a whole other learning curve for me, which takes me to tip number 3. Powder is not the enemy, although excess is. Like, it's always been said that powder isn't great for mature skin. It can look cakey and it can dry out our skin. And I get it. I have seen some of the downsides firsthand, but just stop using it altogether? That's not great either. Because without it, things can get a bit too shiny, a bit too slippery, and just doesn't wear as well. So the shift for me was realizing it's not powder that's the problem. It's how much we use and where we use it. Like, I do not use powder under my eyes at all anymore because for me, it just gets crepey so quickly. And that under eye crepiness, That is my bugbear. So I just avoid that at all costs. And that's just something I've had to accept, because what it used to work for me was a little dusting of powder there. It just doesn't work anymore. So if I use powder at all, it's very lightly, just sort of through the cheeks and the end of the T-zone. That's pretty much all I need. But even then, I have mostly swapped it out. I have been using the Catrice Magic Shine Eraser instead. Like, it's so light. It's invisible. You do not feel this on your skin at all. And I'm telling you, the shine is just gone. So while I do still have compacts and loose powders, this is actually what I'm reaching for all the time. And the other shift I've made is actually using less dewy foundations. I know, shock horror. You probably never thought you'd hear that come out of my mouth, but I've done that because they tend to be a bit more self-setting. They last a little bit longer, and I don't have to put powder over them as much. So again, it's not about removing something completely. It's just about using it a bit differently. And then I realized something else. It's not just about how much you use or even where you put it. It's tip number 4, that not every part of your face needs the same thing. And this was a really big shift for me too. I used to apply foundation everywhere, like the same level of coverage on my cheeks, my chin, my forehead, my nose. And this does not go down well anymore. Certainly not for me and my mature skin. For my under eye area, all I need is a barely there bit of brightening. I mean, ever so slight. Otherwise it creases and it just looks dry. Whereas my cheeks and my chin need the most attention. Like, that's where I carry my redness. And that area around the nose, that's where things tend to break down first. So most of my makeup goes just in the center of my face. In fact, the perimeter doesn't need anything. Like, often there's no makeup on the outside at all. Now you got to make sure your foundation color matches, or this could be a bit of trouble. And if I really cared, and occasionally I do, like the scars that I have here and on my nose and stuff, they could use some color correction, and that's all they need. So now I treat each of the areas differently. So it's less like a routine, and it's more like small targeted decisions. And that's made a really huge difference. It also means I can wear less makeup. And this last one has been a bit of a journey for me. Tip number 5, texture matters more than coverage. Like, I used to chase that really dewy, glowy finish, the kind that your skin just looks amazing when you first put it on, super fresh, super luminous. To me, that represented healthy, youthful skin. But lately, it's just not holding up. Like, it would move, it would disappear straight away, and sometimes it just looked a little bit too shiny, which means I have to powder. So I started experimenting with other finishes. I mean, not matte. Absolutely not. Matte would be the death of my middle-aged skin, but more towards a satin finish. And that for me has been the sweet spot, like the Goldilocks zone, because it blends better with my skin. It stays put longer and it just looks more natural. It's not flat, it's not overly glowy, it's just healthy skin. And that's when I realized it's not really about coverage anymore. Like, you can have all the coverage in the world, but if the texture isn't right, it won't look good. So now that's what I pay attention to first. Like how something sits, how it feels, how it looks on the skin after a few hours. And that's made a bigger difference than just about anything else. Like, if the texture isn't right, nothing else works. Now, your texture, of course, is going to be totally different. Like, oily skin loves a matte foundation, and super dry skin can perform really well with glowy. So my advice would be is to do a bit of experimentation. Like, you might actually be surprised what your skin loves. So when I look at all of this together, it's actually a completely different way of doing my makeup. I'm not trying to fix anything anymore. I'm not layering as much. I'm not wearing as much makeup. I'm thinking about where things go, how they sit, and how they behave on my skin. And honestly, it just works better for me. It's not perfect, but it's much more like me. So I'd love to know what's something that you have changed as your skin's changed. Please leave your comments below. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye. And if you like this video, YouTube thinks you're gonna like this next one.